Hey everybody, intern here. YouTube says I haven't uploaded a video in 3 weeks, which I can't even believe, but to my excuse, in my defense, it rains every 2 seconds. And I'm so afraid to record videos when it rains, but if I wait for it to stop raining, which it actually has, I'd never put one out. So I woke up extra early to give you all this unscripted today because I want to talk about the Formula 1 super license, right? Now, obviously, it's become a big thing in the works right now. There's a lot of discussion taking place about the Formula 1 super license because my guy, Colton Herta, has been touted for an AlphaTauri seat. Helmut Marko has said that he's interested in getting, or interested in signing Colton Herta, rather, to AlphaTauri for 2023, or maybe sometime in the future. Now, the problem with that is, given the FIA super license requirements and the amount of points that they issue out for the IndyCar series as well as Indy Lights, Herta he doesn't actually have enough points to get a Formula 1 super license. And because he hasn't gotten enough points, it's starting kind of a discourse or some kind of discussion right now as to whether or not IndyCar specifically, and I don't even want to focus on just IndyCar today. I want to talk about all the motorsports that are underneath this licensing system, because I feel as though there may be a couple inconsistencies with the super license format. Now, I've pulled it up right here. It's right in front of me right now. The IndyCar champion gets 40 super license points, and you need 40 in order to get the super license. 40 points is the amount that you need, and you can get 40 by simply winning the IndyCar championship outright. Now, I believe what the FIA does to determine your points is that they take your best 3 seasons out of your last 4. And in Herta's last 4 seasons, he's done 3 full-time seasons. He's done 3 full seasons of IndyCar and 1 full season of Indy Lights. Now, he finished P2 in the Indy Lights Championship, I believe in 2018. He finished 7th in his rookie season of IndyCar rather. 3rd in 2020 and 5th in 2021. Now, the Indy Lights P2 in the championship would give him 12 points. 3rd in the IndyCar championship would give him 20, and 5th would give him 8. Right? So that's 12 plus 8 plus 20, which in theory, those would be his best results. That would give him a super license. However, the issue here is that the FIA does not recognize Indy Lights, especially in the The FIA does not count Indy Lights for Herta or for Pato O'Ward for that matter, because this is another thing that screwed Pato from joining F1 a couple years ago too. Because of how little drivers started the Indy Lights season in 2018, I believe the FIA did not count it towards super license points due to the small amount of drivers that actually took place in the first round of the season. And because of that, you can't use Herta's Indy Lights season, so you have to use his P7 from 2019 in IndyCar. That was his rookie season, and if you include that P7, Herta only gets 4 points from it, which means he's not eligible to get a super license. And it brings to the discussion, should the FIA give Herta his points for Indy Lights, or should they stick to it and just not give him? Because the issue is, I brought up Pato O'Ward earlier. O'Ward did not get his super license for this exact same reason. He won Indy Lights the same year Colton Herta finished P2, and Red Bull had signed him with the intention of getting him enough super license points to go through. But because the FIA didn't give Pato his super license points for Indy Lights, he didn't get the super license and Red Bull had to drop him. So we're kind of in the same situation here again. Now the problem is, as much as I disagree with the FIA not giving the drivers their points for Indy Lights, I feel as though if you've already screwed if you've already screwed O'Ward with it, it wouldn't be fair to give it to Herta. If you give it to Herta and you didn't give it to O'Ward back then, it's not really gonna be a good look for the system. It's gonna look like you're going back on your rules, which if you think they should change it in the future, that's fine. But by doing so, you have to acknowledge the fact that you're also screwing over drivers that could have benefited from the rule that you're about to change it to, right? But overall, if you just look at the super license system in general, it makes you think to yourself, like, why are certain things valued more than others? Because as I said earlier, if you win Formula 2, you get 40 points, which is all you need. If you win the IndyCar Championship rather, you get 40 points. However, if you finish top 3 in Formula 2, you get 40 points. If you finish second in IndyCar, you get 30. Which means that finishing 4th in Formula 2 gives you the same amount of super license points as finishing second in IndyCar. And it's not even just IndyCar I have an issue with. Even Super Formula, which is a faster car than the Formula 2 car, you only get 25 points for winning the championship in Super Formula. And you get what for Formula you get the same amount for winning Formula Regional, which is kind of crazy to me. You get more super license points for winning Formula E than you do for winning Super Formula, even though in theory winning Super Formula in theory should give you the same amount that IndyCar or Formula 2 should give you. Because if you're talking about top open wheel series in the world that isn't Formula 1, you have Formula 2, you have IndyCar, and you have to have Super Formula. Super Formula has to be that third one. If you get more points for winning a hypercar championship than you do for Super Formula, and I don't really understand that. It doesn't really make much sense to me. If you look down the order, you'll see that winning DTM, NASCAR, Indy Lights, W Series, Super Formula Lights, they all give you the same amount of points. World Touring Car as well. Formula 4 gives you 12 if you win the championship. GTE Pro and WEC gives you 12 as well. So, I don't know, man. I do feel as though Super Formula should be worth 40. Or at the very least 30. You know? I mean, I don't think it's fair that Super Formula gets 25, but Hypercar and Formula E and Formula 3 gives you more points than Super Formula, even though Super Formula is literally faster than Formula 2. That's insane to me, man. That needs to be checked up, man. You really deserve more points for winning Super Formula, in my opinion. Going back to IndyCar, because here's the thing with me, man. I fully understand giving a bias to racing series that are underneath the FIA rule, because, and this is just in my brain, the FIA would have already put rules in place that once drivers drive under it, it would be rules similar to what they should expect in Formula 1. So in theory, they'd be racing under rules that would shape their mindset as a racing driver, that would prepare them for Formula 1. That's kind of how I see it. Or at least that's what my theory behind giving FIA sanctioned series preference does. I hope I'm making sense here. But I don't know, man. Because if you're some kind of pay driver and you do 3 seasons of Formula 2, you'd get 20. And if you did 3 seasons of Formula 2 and you finished 6th in 2 of those seasons and 5th in the other, that's a super license. That's a super license. I was talking about this on Twitter. Some people were telling me, nah, you should get 40 points for finishing in the top 10 of IndyCar. I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it is that serious. I just think that as it regards how the numbers are scaled between one finishing position and the other, I just think that needs a little bit of tweaking. Maybe, I don't know if giving 40 points to the top 3 is really that fair in Formula 2. I don't really know. Because as it stands right now, Third place in IndyCar gives you the same amount as fifth place in F2. Third place in IndyCar gives you the same amount as third place in Formula 3. I don't really know about that, you know. But at the same time, second place in IndyCar gives you more than second place in Formula 3. So in certain places it works, but in certain places it doesn't. I'd love to know what the criteria is for determining how many points you get per position. I would really love to know that. I would really love to know. Because you look at Formula 3. 30 for P1, 25 for P2, 20 for P3, 15, and then it goes 12, 9, 7, 5, 3, 2. Right? However, if you look at something like, what's this, Formula E, it's 30, 25, 20, but fourth place is 10, and it goes 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's some series here that you get 0 points for finishing in 10th. Even Super GT right there, you get the same amount of points for winning that as you do for LMP2. I don't know, man. This isn't really even, I wouldn't even call this video analysis. It's just, it's been on my head for so long, and I just wanted a medium through which to just express my thoughts. I feel like Twitter doesn't give me enough characters. I feel like this is something I need to speak about in a video format. And yeah, man, super license is weird. It needs I feel like it needs an overhaul, but I also don't know how I don't know how it would be fair. I don't think there's any way of doing this that would be fair to every series. But there are definitely certain things out there that I would change about this. I would definitely give more for it. I feel like IndyCar and F2 at least could have the same kind of points distribution. But I don't know. I do not know. But that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully by listening to this rant and understanding a bit more about how super licenses work. Also, one thing I didn't bring up is that you also get super license points. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about. The Macau Grand Prix, which is a Formula 3 race around the Macau circuit, if you win that by itself, if you just pull up one day and you win the Macau Grand Prix, you get 5 super license points. And given the fact that you're giving 5 points, which in this case is a lot, given the fact that you get 5 bonus points just for winning this one race, it makes you think, how many super license points could you get for other prestigious races around the world? If you can get 5 for winning Macau, surely you can get at least 2 for winning something like the Indy 500 or winning something like Le Mans or maybe even the 24 Hours of Spa or something. I don't know. But 5 for Macau is a lot. You also get a point for doing 100 km of a free practice session, and you can do that 10 times and get 10 points out of that. But that would take quite a while, because getting 100 km in a practice session is no easy feat. It might actually take you more than one practice session depending on what track you do it at. So you're thinking about probably 20 free practice sessions just to get 10 points, you know? You also get 2 points for completing an entire FIA championship without receiving a penalty point, which I think it's fair to do that and reward clean drivers. But that Macau thing still lives rent-free in my brain. I'm like, if you can give 5 points for Macau, what other races out there can you give points for? Prestigious races. Surely an Indy 500 winner deserves a little something on their license, you know what I mean? Surely IndyCar drivers deserve a little, you know, a little something for winning the literal biggest race in the world, surely. But then again, man, that's where we're at right now. So yeah, this is just me ranting a bit about the FIA super license, the FIA Formula 1 super license that you need to compete in the Formula 1 World Championship. And yeah, tell me what you think about it. Tell me what your thoughts on the super license system is. I'm very interested to hear what y'all have to say. This is Intern, I Talk Wheel, and I'm signing out. Thank you for listening.